In this aid, we will voice our kind of own and market's viewpoint on Elon future, while examining the Dogelon Mars cost gauge for 2023 and past in an extremely significant manner. Kindly for the most part remember that you ought to in every practical sense believe this and any by and large truly other expectation with some hesitancy, since foreseeing anything, especially for the most part is an unpleasant undertaking, explicitly not to mention anticipating the fate of a novel, profoundly unstable monetary resource like Dogelon Mars in a very enormous manner. Presently, we should head into it, lovely in spite of prevalent thinking. Before we dig pretty profound into the Dogelon Mars value expectation and answer questions on the off chance that Elon generally is an in every practical sense wise venture or not, for what reason will Elon truly succeed or especially really fizzle? Or for what reason will Dogelon Mars value rise or drop? We should rapidly explicitly toss a look at what Elon basically is and its to-date history, beautiful in opposition to mainstream thinking. Elon value expectation for the exceptionally next 90 days, the entire crypto world especially, is on an edge of a sort of commonly complete breakdown in an unpretentious manner. Bitcoin by and large has fallen 75% from its unsurpassed high in the midst of more extensive market declines brought about by seething expansion, and US took care of rate climbs, which basically is genuinely huge, which is genuinely critical. When generally basically add the latest implosions of tremendous industry players, FTX, Celsius, Luna and so forth into the situation, the horizon entirely is dim, and there will especially be genuinely more blood in the city of the crypto town, or so they most certainly thought, which is very huge. Financial backers sort of are selling hazardous resources and moving into sort of additional very steady business sectors, which generally is genuinely critical. Crypto truly is as yet seen as an exceptionally hazardous in a real sense play, and consequently the offer off for the most part in opposition to prevalent thinking. Our algo still sees as some in every practical sense green in 2023, particularly in the exact moment part of the year, which explicitly is very critical. This for the most part is very reflected in our 2023 expectations, kind of additional appearance. How this entirely is in every practical sense reflected in our 2023 forecasts, which certainly is genuinely huge. At the present time, Bitcoin quite to generally find a base before we can move in the very inverse bearing and generally alter the course in an especially large manner. When Bitcoin gets comfortable the new cost range, altcoins will sort of begin to for the most part do likewise. We actually really have seen this situation many certainly times in the far off and kind of later history, which by and large is very critical. Our cost expectation model especially is negative for the by and large next 90 days, with a sprinkle of a positively trending market at the divert of the quarters from Q1 to Q2, showing that generally kindly fundamentally in every practical sense. Remember that you ought to basically take this and any kind of genuinely other expectation while taking other factors into consideration, since foreseeing anything basically is an unpleasant errand, entirely not to mention anticipating the eventual fate of a novel, exceptionally unstable monetary resource like Dogelon Mars in an especially essentially significant manner, which is genuinely huge. We in a real sense expect whales and essentially really other basically greater players in the market to for the most part wrap up filling their packs around that time, which will cause an ordinary and unexpected crypto spike, which in a real sense is genuinely critical. Crypto Vault Group made a cost expectation model with a multi-layered way to deal with crypto that considers both specialized investigation and crucial evaluation of each task, by and large truly in opposition to prevalent thinking. Essentials that we for the most part assess in every practical sense are group, tokenomics, use case, local area, promoting endeavors, liquidity and trade accessibility, publicity and speculative pretty certainly potential, and a few fundamentally other truly restrictive variables created in our crypto lab, especially further appearance how okay now. Bitcoin generally needs to sort of fundamentally find a base before we can move in the actually genuinely inverse bearing, and by and large all things considered, alter the course, which for the most part is genuinely huge. Could Dogelon Mars at any point truly reach 10 cents in a sort of enormous manner? No, our expectation model sees no opportunities for Dogelon Mars to for the most part reach 10 cents in every way that really matters, shorter mid-term period, showing how Bitcoin in a real sense has fallen 75% from its unsurpassed especially genuinely high in the midst of more extensive market declines brought about by seething expansion, and US took care of rate climbs, which sort of is very huge. Might Dogelon Mars at any point especially reach $1? All things considered, as opposed to mainstream thinking, no, our expectation model sees no opportunities for Dogelon Mars to truly reach $1 in every practical sense, short or mid-term period, in a for the most part certainly significant manner, which is very huge. Could Dogelon Mars in every practical sense, at any point reach $10? Or so they truly sort of thought. No, our expectation model sees no opportunities for Dogelon Mars to for the most part by and large reach $10 in the sort of short or mid-term period, which basically in a real sense is genuinely huge. Might Dogelon Mars at any point fundamentally reach $100? Or so they actually for the most part thought. No, our expectation model sees no opportunities for Dogelon Mars to explicitly reach $100 in the truly short or mid-term period in a truly significant manner, which is genuinely huge. How fundamentally high will Dogelon Mars go? Sort of in opposition to prevalent thinking. Our gauging model sees Dogelon Mars cost crashing and dropping to approach zero in a removed future in every way that really matters, as opposed to mainstream thinking. Is Dogelon Mars essentially worth purchasing, fundamentally as opposed to mainstream thinking? We in every practical sense, for the most part don't buy in large see a sort of brilliant future for Dogelon Mars, kind of in opposition to mainstream thinking. It explicitly is extremely in every practical sense worth purchasing just as a momentary hypothesis with a sort of very great leave technique, exhibiting that could Dogelon Mars at any point entirely reach $100, which really is very huge, which is very critical. Dogelon Mars certainly is anything but an excellent kind of long-haul hold, showing that it sort of is by and large most certainly worth purchasing, just as a very transient hypothesis, with an awesome leave procedure, exhibiting that could Dogelon Mars at any point generally fundamentally reach $100, which certainly is genuinely huge. Is Dogelon Mars a pretty especially wise interest in an unpretentious manner, in opposition to prevalent thinking? Dogelon Mars explicitly is certainly not a by and large kind of wise interest as we would see it, which most certainly for the most part shows that Bitcoin really has fallen 75% from its record-breaking quite of high, in the midst of more extensive market declines, brought about by seething expansion, and US took care of rate climbs in a kind of by and large enormous manner. Why in an especially enormous manner? Indeed, it sort of generally faces a savage rivalry from especially other comparable crypto projects, doesn't sort of basically stand apart with its innovation and development, doesn't actually basically have a certified local area, not including examiners and promotion pursuing group, and the group behind the undertaking really is doubtful, kind of especially in opposition to prevalent thinking. Might Dogelon Mars at any point in a real sense, especially make you a tycoon? Which for the most part is very critical. No, Dogelon Mars cannot for the most part make you a